So I wanted to talk about making training stick. First, I want to start off by saying there's things that can definitely go wrong when we don't focus on training transfer. And we're going to outline two of them here. The first is that usually we haven't done a training needs assessment. We don't understand what training is needed, so then we're not implementing a program that benefits our employees. And sometimes training programs aren't well executed. Second, sometimes HR departments aren't really measuring learning, or they're not measuring the impact of learning on employee performance, or we're not measuring return on investment. So we're not seeing the impact on business results. And those are two big major key players in training transfer gone wrong. So let's talk about ways to make it go right. We're going to call this the 5 R's of training transfer. And there are a number of practices before training, during training, and after training that really help your employees apply knowledge back to the workplace. And we need to make sure that these activities, these post-training, pre-training, there's a whole bunch of them, activities are in place before you roll out a program. Otherwise, you may not have the long-lasting impact on employee performance. So let's start off with the first one. It's relevance. How does this event impact your employees' skill development, their particular role, or a group of trainees' roles? We know from research that when trainees have an opportunity to provide input into what they need for training, it increases motivation, it increases training transfer. So it makes sense to go ask them and do a needs assessment and to make sure that the training we're offering them has value to them. The second one is resources. So are you providing the necessary time, tool, technology, information, supporting processes, post-training? Are you giving them practice time? And we know from research that having the opportunity to practice and use these new skills was rated some of the highest among employees. And the lack of opportunity to practice new skills was the biggest obstacle for training transfer. So it makes sense. The next is reinforcement. What does your culture look like? Are there incentives, consequences, and recognition for learning? What is the application here? Are managers supporting it? Do peers support learning? A leader's involvement in training transfer cannot be understated. They have so much influence. They create a perceived value for the employee, and then the employee can appreciate learning. Manager support, and we see this two ways, is the degree, how they of emphasis for attending training programs, right? Getting behind it and stressing the application of what they learned back on the job. Are your managers even asking what they learned at this training event? Are they setting some training goals? Are they including learning on an individual development plan? So reinforcement. We're also looking at renewal. How is the organization focused on continuous improvement, continuous learning through coaching, mentoring, follow-up, and training refreshers? We know that peer support is very important to training transfer, and networking and sharing ideas with coworkers about course content help promote skill transfer up to 6 months following a training event. The most consistent factor explaining successful transfer is support from others. So that makes real world sense. And lastly, are you measuring the effectiveness of the intervention, the event, the training activity, whatever that is? A major key factor in training transfer is leadership and peer support, measuring learning, and focusing on making learning stick. If you have any questions, please contact me. We can talk more about training transfer. Thanks so much.